In this image taken in the Great Depression time, we can see the little boy in the right holding a big poster with the following sentence: "Why can't you give my dad a job?" which emphasizes and illustrates the lack of job opportunities during that time period. The Great Depression, known by the falling economy of the United States of America, by the stock market crash on Black Tuesday, October 24th, 1929, the Great Depression have a mark in history nowadays. It had a major impact on the country's economy, which fell for about 29% according to Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Which led me to the following question: to what extent has the falling economy of the Great Depression affected American farmers? With the following claims: led to a significant decline in farm incomes. Secondly, it led to increased debt burden for American farmers. And lastly, led to significant changes in American agriculture. The decline in farm incomes was caused by the overproduction of agricultural goods, collapse of international trade, and lastly, farmers were forced to sell their land and declare bankruptcy. During the World War I, farmers worked hard to produce record crops and livestock. And when prices fell, they tried to produce even more to pay their debts, tax, and living expenses. In this graph from Cambridge Press, in this long dotted line, we can see that there was a decline in farmers' income, a significant decline. And in this graph from Economics Help shows that in the period of time of the Great Depression, there was a significant decrease in the U.S. Consumer Price Index, which was caused by the overproduction of crops. This graph from Purdue University shows that there was an increase in the farm bankruptcy rate, which was the farmers that declared bankruptcy. In this line, in this brown line, we can see that around 1930, there was about an increase of 13 ratio. And in this graph from Kevin Oroki, a professor of economics of New York University, shows the decline of international trade in the beginning months of the Great Depression, which here in this blue line shows the decline. Following to my second claim, the increased debt burden for American farmers. According to Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, unemployment rate reached a peak of 25% in 1933, and 78% of people were in poverty. And lastly, majority of farmers went bankrupt and lost their farm. In this graph from Tajvan Pettinger, PPE at LMH, Oxford University, and works as economics teacher and writer, illustrates that from 1929, which was the starting period and year of the Great Depression, there had been a significant increase in the unemployment rate in the Great Depression, which was starting here and going to here and there. And following to my last claim, changes in American agriculture, according to Chapter 4, Crisis and Activisms, the changes in American agriculture was the consolidation of farms and increased use of government intervention to support farmers. And to that, there was a resolution, which firstly, the government passed the Agricultural Adjustment Act, AAA, of 1933, which sets limits on the size of the crops and herbs farmers could produce. Those farmers that agreed to the Agricultural Adjustment Act were paid a subsidy. And secondly, Congress passed the Bankhead-Jones Farm Tenant Act, which was a new program that made available supervised farm ownership loans with 40-year terms to farmers who lacked other credit sources to purchase their own land and to improve their farms. This is my work site page. Thank you.
All right, I do have 2 questions for you. First up, what information did you need that you weren't able to locate?
One information that I need that I wasn't able to locate was I wanted to find a graph of the overproduction of crops during the Great Depression, but I wasn't able to find the graph, so I just used the information.
Okay. Oh, and oh my God, sorry. If you had more time, what additional research would you conduct?
If I had more time, I think I would talk more about the agricultural changes and how that had an effect on today's days.